Hello everyone, it's me, Chinny, Sky TV's one-eyed pirate crow. Cavemania was a 1990 game first released on the Sinclair Spectrum, starting off on the CPC version, because, again, as usual, it's a game I had. I bought it on budget for $2.99. Programmed by the Shaw Brothers and converted by Pantheon Software to the CPC, and they also did the C64 version. Plus, with the games, you are a caveman and you have to rescue eggs from each level. There are 3 eggs to rescue, and you can only carry 1 egg at a time. Each level consists of 3 screens, so you go back and forth. You have 99 lives, but you lose one of those lives every time. With 99 energy, really. And every time you hit something, then obviously you lose 1 life unit, which you can top up. You also have a limited supply of rocks in order to throw at things. We jump over there, get the egg, like a hen's egg, and then we travel back to our cave. If we die on the way back, the egg is damaged and you have to go back and get the egg again. But curiously, there's different kinds of death. So if you fall in the water, then you have to go and get the egg again. But if you're just hit by rocks from the volcano, then clearly, then you don't have to go back. Starting off on the Spectrum version with the 48K, this is a Shaw Brothers game. It originated on the Spectrum in 1990. Shaw Brothers did a lot of games for Atlantis. Moon Talk is another one of them. A lot of these games look the same, and a lot of the conversions of the games, which are done on the Spectrum, on the C64 and CPC, also look very similar. Moon Talk is one of them, and there are a number of others that same graphics, same engine, in effect, I would imagine. So we've just got to jump over here, and jumping is a little bit fiddly, but not as fiddly as it is on the CPC, and as we will come to see, the C64. Jump over there, it's very simple. C64 version, dated there 1991, as is the CPC version. And look how similar this looks to the CPC. Much, much faster though, much faster. There's some kind of system they've got at Pantheon Software to get stuff between the Spectrum, the C64 and the CPC. Clearly the graphics are, well, we're in the era of everything being designed on PCs, aren't we? So it's probably they're all designed once, then just ported across to each system. It's remarkable how similar the CPC and C64 versions look. It really is. I can't think of many games that look quite, well, the same. Aside from the colour palette, and that's not far off at all. Usually there's larger differences. There are 16-bit versions of Cavemania. It's that era when people are starting to release budget versions on the 16-bit. And this is the ST version. Curiously, we've had no music so far. And we start off on Red Rock Island. It's not red, and there's no rocks on it. And your caveman moves incredibly slowly. It's mute so far, and it flicks screens, but not like the other versions. It flicks screens a little bit instead of what presumably should have been scrolling, but they haven't managed to put in. Oh, it's not very good. It's not very good at all. Your caveman plods along, and you can jump up as well. You don't really notice until you actually do it. There's an Amiga version. And at least it has some music on the title screen, which is a start. And bizarrely, when you start the game, you hear a doorbell sound. Which reminds me of...
She doesn't. She doesn't know, believe me. She's a bit like my...
Yeah, we can have a house party game. Not Noel's House Party. House Party was a program where basically ladies sat around and talked for half an hour about stuff that wasn't very interesting. Might have been interesting. Who knows? Amiga version. Look, it actually moves. It actually moves. It scrolls. I think this is what the ST version is supposed to be like, but it isn't. Of course, I am running this on a 1200, so there's every chance on a 500 it might actually run as badly as the ST version, but at least you get scrolling. And the puzzle's a little bit different, and you can use your club. So if we hit the ground there, we can go down here and pick up that flower that will then hopefully reveal a platform that allows us to get the eggs. Take egg home.
An egg, he said egg.
Take hen home. I hate hens. Oh, scrambled eggs. Right, the egg has broken. I now need to go back and get that egg again. Samples are terrible. Jumping is terrible. And the immediate impression is, well, it's better than the ST version. But, yes. So we collected our egg on the CPC, and now we've got our final egg. And now we're going to go back to our cave and go to level 2. If only those 16-bit versions replicated the 8-bit versions, just with better graphics, that's all I needed to do. There's a bonus level where you travel between islands. And you have to collect all the wheels. But watch out for the bat, because the bat can pick you up. He doesn't just bite you like he does with Shakin' Stevens. No, he picks you up and throws you around the screen and probably going to drop you in the water. And jumping is, yeah, jumping. Oh, yeah. Wanted to fire off a rock onto that bat. So you're going to collect wheels. The bonus level is 3-0. You need to knock out the bat the first thing as soon as you spawn, basically. At least we've done that now. Right, jump up there. Get that wheel / jump. Oh! You have to let go. It's up to jump, as many games this era are. But if you don't let go at precisely the right time, what will happen is you'll jump again for a second time, probably to your death. There's the bat again. Oh, come on, come here, come here, come here. See, again, I did a false jump up there. You really have to be precise. Jump again. Right, jump again. Oh! And you can't jump back onto that platform there. Spectrum version. It is rather nice on the, well, graphically nice on the Spectrum for a budget game. Oh, the bat got me. And now I can't get that polo mint, so, oh no, you can. Interesting, on the Amstrad version, you can't complete the bonus level until you've got all the wheels. On the Spectrum version, doesn't seem to matter. So next island, which is a fungi island, which is a pizza. And also, well, yeah, obviously it's mushrooms, isn't it? I'm being facetious. Baddies will always respawn when you return to a screen. Also, you have a limited supply of rocks, but energy is a little bit harder to come by, so sometimes it's just easier to kill a baddie just by jumping on them because you only lose 1 energy unit. That's fire there, by the way. See, that's just easier just to jump on him. I've got 20 rocks left. And there's one of those bats again. There's fire on the screen. You don't want to be dropped on the fire by the bat. No, when you can, especially when you can drop yourself on the fire. The bat's got me. Oh, he's done it. Oh, no, 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 no. Put me down. Put me down. Put me down. Put me down. Thank you. No. Come on, come on, come on. Put me down. He's dropped me on the floor. Egg collected. Reviews of this game weren't particularly good. I don't recall Zap particularly liking it, and Crash were also not very kind to it. I think scores in the 40%. There we go. But there's a fair amount of, although it's a simplistic game with 3 screens per level, it's for a budget game. It's not particularly, it's not even bad. It's perfectly playable. Perfectly playable. Just the controls are, the whole jumping thing, it's too easy to double jump. And it's too easy to get your position wrong on the ledges. So do things like that and just jump through the screen. CPC version, which when you come over from the C64, you realise how bad the animation is on the... Oh, dear. Oh, yeah. How bad the animation is on the CPC version compared to the 64, which, of course, is using the sprite support. But $2.90... Oh, dear. But $2.99... I mean, I can think of so many games I played that were nowhere near as good as this, that were original budget titles, especially in this era where the re-releases have taken over the market and you've got Codemasters putting out fairly formulaic stuff with their simulator titles, Dizzy and Dizzy style games, or, you know, if Codemasters did this, it would be Dizzy Goes Caveman or something. But this is an original game. Amiga version. It's ostensibly Fungi Island again, except it... Well, yeah, I mean, look at this. It reminds me of the Mr. Blobby game with all the colours and kind of horribleness of that. You've got all the 16-bit power and graphics, and look, you're completely unable to use it. This is a case of, yes, you'd rather be playing one of those re-releases. It's borrowing tropes from the console games, the console platformers, but it's so bad. I mean, here, how am I supposed to time jumping on these balloons? And then the sound effects jam. See, what's that about? Why is there a jam sound effect? I had no idea this was... And here's the ST version. I had no idea this was released on the 16 bits. I thought it was going to be a simple 3-format review. And... yeah, I mean, just the ST version. This is appalling. Absolute dirge. Different level on the ST. And it's still just dreadful. Why try and modify the game into being a kind of more 16-bit title when you can't carry it off? When you could have just done a really good job of that 8-bit game, which has solid gameplay, putting it into the 16-bits. No music, no sound effects a lot of the time. The speed. Just plodding is the word. Absolutely plodding. If you enjoy this kind of madness, playing games on real hardware and just me wittering on, ChinnyVision has a Patreon. Link in the description below. You get exclusive videos from time to time, but mainly previews of stuff coming up, sometimes quite often in advance. There's a nice little community on there. We have the Discord, and there's ChinnyVision 2 on YouTube as well, which you can just search for that. So ChinnyVision 2 or something like that, and there's videos on there that aren't as polished and just quickly thrown on, but hopefully may entertain you. Bonus level on the Spectrum again. Oh, you could get so bored of this level. And again, there's plenty of character here. The graphics are simplistic. There's colour clash going on, but it's not particularly bothering your eyes or anything like that. And by the way, obviously I started off in the 48K Spectrum. We went over to the +2 fairly quickly. There is no 128K sound effects or anything like that. Like every other Shaw Brothers game I've played, I think, from memory, it's a 48K only game. Final Island is Spike Island. And what we've got to do there is just knock out those goons. Try and collect those rocks there. It's so fast on the C64 compared to the other versions. And we have vanishing bridges, which is a trope from games years before. But it's not offending me. It's a perfectly valid way of getting through the screen and solving these puzzles. And there is more puzzle solving on the 16 bits, but the puzzles are pretty terrible. We've got the egg, we go back, and we have to do the bonus level again. So here we go, kill the bat. And why is it always night on the island? The difference with the 16 bits as well is each island has different stages. Congratulations, Stone Age Explorer. Have fun till next time. With Cavemania, there wasn't a next time. Cavemania, well, John Nash / Pillar summed this up best in Your Sinclair. He called it harmless, pointless fun. And that's what it is. It's a harmless game, it's fairly pointless. There's not a huge amount to it, but it is inoffensive. And for $2.99, it is fun. The 38-bit versions. Spectrum version has very polished graphics, 48K only sound, and the jumping works best of all three of those 8-bit versions. CPC and C64. I've not seen a CPC and C64 game looking so similar. They really are. It's the same graphics, just converted over. C64 version has much smoother sprites and is much faster, but gameplay wise, all three of these 8-bit versions suffer from a horrible jumping mechanic and just the ability to plunge into the sea or towards your doom. But you get 99 lives or 99 life force and you only lose one if you do that, so again, not as big a deal as it if it had been just 3 lives overall. The 16-bit versions are completely and utterly embarrassing. That ST version, what is going on with the scrolling, just everything? It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. They've tried to expand the gameplay, but why bother doing that when you can't get the code for the game running properly to begin with? The Amiga version at least runs at a decent speed and has a bit more sound to it, but they're awful, annoying samples. It's like the cheapest samples you can imagine. While it's not as graphically offensive as the ST version with the really slow speed and the dreadful colours and all the rest of it, it's still appalling 16-bit game. On the 8-bits, this is a fairly good example of a mid to late 8-bit era original budget game. There's nothing new, nothing remarkable, but there's some fun to be had. On the 16-bit, I'm afraid I'm just offended. Absolutely dreadful.